Welcome to the O Brother podcast. I'm your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith.
How's it going, Dan?
It's going good, man. Tuesday evening.
Yes.
We're recording January 19th, 2021. And today on the show, we had the pleasure to interview actress Deborah Baker Jr., who is in the new Hulu series, Everyone is Doing Great, which is awesome. It's fantastic.
If you don't have
great
Hulu,
in it.
If you don't have Hulu, pick it up.
It's a reason to get it for sure. Yeah, it's a wonderful series. So she's on that. She has a great role in that, and she's also on a couple of she's got a couple of recurring roles. One is on the Comedy Central series Blark and Son, which has its season 2 coming out on January 30th, I believe. So you can check that out. Yep. And then she's also got a recurring role on the CBS sitcom The Neighborhood.
Yeah,
with Max Greenfield and Cedric the Entertainer.
Yep.
So
third season.
You can find her there as well. So really enjoyable to catch up. You know, fellow Bostonian. So that's always nice to catch up with a fellow New Englander.
Yeah.
And so we think you'll enjoy this interview with Deborah Baker Jr. And if you want to follow her on social media, you can find her at Deborah Baker Jr. on Instagram and Twitter. All right. And if you're not currently following us, make sure that you do. You can get all things O Brother at our official website, which is OHB as in brother podcast.com. You can get links to all our social media there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos out there. We'd love for you to do that. We also have a blog on our website that you can follow, and that comes out almost weekly at this point. So Mike churns those out. Yeah.
Next couple. Well, by the time you see this, there'll probably be 2 blogs out.
It'll be out. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Well, enjoy this interview with Deborah Baker Jr.
Bye, everyone. We got a still photo.
She's halfway there.
Almost here. Hi, guys. Hi.
Hey, Deborah. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Oh, my God. It's so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you for having me. My dog is having a meltdown, but everything's going to be fine.
That's okay.
He's decided to just be really, really vocal right now. So my husband's dealing with that. You might see him go back and forth. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, I
see, look how nice it is there. It's so beautiful. And you know what it's like here. It's cold.
I do.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
We thought
I moved to California.
We thought maybe we could do this whole interview in Boston accents. What do you think? Could we pull that?
Do you slide into it?
I know. Do you?
Can you pull it out? Boston accent? Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah.
I can. I think it's really cringeworthy listening to other people try to do it.
Yeah.
Do it very wrong.
The car. Go get the car.
It's
overdo it.
It's no good.
So.
Well,
I lived in San Diego for 25 years.
Oh, no way.
So, yeah. So I was like a neighbor of yours, sort of.
Sure. Southern California. Yeah.
Did you ever visit San Diego at all?
Yeah, I go down there sometimes.
Do you know the Old Globe?
No.
The Old Globe Theater, because I worked there for a while. It was
cool.
Really nice, yeah.
Yeah. Is it still around?
Yeah. It's been there I don't know, 70 years now.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Wow.
I mean, when things open up again, something to write down on the list.
Where are you now? Are you right in LA?
Yeah, I'm in the East Side. I was in the Arts District downtown, which was awesome. I was there for 7-8 years, and we just moved to a house kind of near South Pasadena.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man, it's how often do you get back here on the East Coast?
Pretty often.
Yeah.
Pretty often, yeah. My parents are still back there. I have tons of family still back there, and we have a summer home, sort of you guys know. Do you know where New Bedford is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So my parents live there, and then we have a summer home 15 minutes away from New Bedford, which seems ridiculous, but it's been in my family for years and years and years. So
now you were born.
My parents just moved they've been there for 10 years, but they're New Bedford people now.
So they're right on the water.
They are.
Nice. Yeah, it's beautiful there.
And you were born in Baltimore? Is that right?
I was. My parents were teaching in Baltimore and had me. And then we moved to Boston, and my siblings were born. And I was raised in Boston and Florida, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had a place down there, and so we moved down there. I lived. What part of Florida are you?
Yeah, I'm in just north of Orlando.
Okay. So sorry.
It's a bonus guest.
It's right. A bonus guest. Oh, Bruce. I lived south of Sarasota.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
That's on the west coast
down.
of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just down there.
Yeah.
So congrats on everyone is doing great.
Thank you.
My God, we binged it immediately and just, huge fans of it. And we had just interviewed, your longtime friend, Johnny Durango. And
yes.
when we talked to him, you were the only person that he brought up from the show.
Really? That's not nice.
Well,
there's so many great people.
I know.
He talked about the guys, of course, but we were asking him, Dan asked him something about, it must be really funny on the set. How do you not crack up? And he said there's only one time that he actually ruined a scene, and it was with you when you were filming. And actually, no, when she was on the sofa with the two guys. We don't want to give away anything.
Yeah,
people who haven't seen it.
Yeah, for
any hilarious.
For anybody who hasn't seen it, do you mind just sort of giving a brief description and your character too and who you play?
Totally. We shot this show so long ago, and we shot the pilot even longer ago. So I play April. She's like an assistant in the casting world, and she's a huge fan of the characters that the main characters of the show, who used to be like these heartthrob type
Twilight
exactly
guys.
Twilight guys.
Only better.
Much better. So she's having like a moment, and that's kind of where I don't want to give anything away, but that's kind of where my character comes from. Is she's super fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really funny. You steal it. Johnny must have filmed it.
He did. Yeah.
Even though the main characters are the ones talking, the camera's on you in your scenes. It's really well shot. And
it's really well shot. It was so much fun to do. I didn't have a script. Ian and Eshem Nelms are dear friends of mine who I've known forever. We worked at ArcLight, which is this movie theater here, when it first opened up years ago. We were all just like trying to get jobs. And I did a bunch of like weird shorts with them and played around. And now whenever they call, they're like, hey, would you be willing to? I'm like, always. I'm always going to say yes. Don't ever like, please put me in it. So they were like, would you do this thing? And I was like, sure. And I was like, is there a script? And they're like, no, but you're really good at improv. I'm like, okay. So we just sort of like went for it. And it was such a fun scene. And and then when they got the funding for the full series, they're like, so we would love to have you back. Would you like to come? And again, it was sort of like a loose outline, but no script. So it was really nice that they trusted me to just like go for it. You don't get to do that a lot. So it was really fun to play with. And the boys were so easy to like play with. So yeah.
That's a good way to describe your scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So the ArcLight, that's where it all started then? Is where you guys... Yeah. Okay, because
Eshem worked there.
They both did.
Yeah,
Ian
didn't
too?
mention that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, okay, because we thought he was slinging ribs down the street at Tony Roma's.
I feel like maybe it was just Ash. I feel like they both did because they were always around, but I feel like Ian worked there for like a hot second. Maybe not. Maybe I'm making things up.
But Johnny
there was a big like group of us that all worked and played together. So
yeah, we have dubbed it the NCU, the Nelms,
cinematic
creative universe. Cinematic universe.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you go down memory lane, I'm in a lot of their early stuff. I'm in their very, very early thing that they did with Peter Atencio and like a bunch of other like cool cats called Heavy Petting. Oh no, that theirs was Heavy Petting. Channeling Alphonse was like one of their first things. We channel a spirit that you know what? I don't want to ruin it for you.
Okay.
Let's just say I had to see it on the big screen with my parents though, and they were like, "Oh, this is what we're doing now."
We'll get our hands on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you too, just out of curiosity, your name,
Yeah.
the Junior, is so interesting and unique. Can you share where that comes from, or?
I mean, it's a very simple answer. It's what you would think. My mom is Deborah Baker.
Okay.
And she thought it was so cool. She had like a classmate. I would love to I can't remember her name, but she had a classmate that was a junior, was named after her mom. And she thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And she was like, I want to do that when I have a daughter. And I was actually twins. I don't know. I ate the other one or something. And no matter what, they were like, oh, okay, now that's just one. If it's a girl, it will be Deborah. And if it's a boy, it will be William, which is my dad's name. We're really creative in my family. So everyone just thinks really highly of themselves. I don't know. So they thought baby William was coming because my mother's babies look like boys, I guess. And then it was me. And the nurse came in to like do the thing, and she was like, Deborah Baker Jr. She's like, you can't do that. And she was like, I'm pretty sure I can.
Yeah.
I think if people can name their like kids Apple, I can name my daughter after myself. And the nurse wouldn't sign the paperwork. And so my dad came in. She was like, do you see what's here? He's like, no, we talked about it. And so, yeah, but it's really interesting. I get it all the time. They're like, you can't be a junior. You're a girl. And I'm like, I can, and I am. So
yeah, and I was thinking it's a stage name. It just but it's so cool.
Thanks.
Like, I wonder why I haven't heard somebody do it before.
I mean, the buck stops here.
That's right. You are the junior.
I am the. I mean, unless I guess it doesn't have to. I mean, someone else run with it. Let girls be the fifth. I guess. I don't know.
Samantha Jr.
Do it.
Why not? No, well, it'd be like Samantha Smith Jr. Something like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same. Baker Jr. sounds good though. I like
Thank
that.
you. There's already a Deborah Baker when you come to Hollywood,
right?
And you want to join the union. You can't have the same name as somebody.
Right.
So there was already a Deborah Baker, and my family, my manager at the time was like, you should use another family name and like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I think I'll just use Deborah Baker Jr. And they're just like, I don't know, it might be too weird. And I was like, nah, I think I'm going to go for it. Yeah. So I did. And yeah, it's definitely a conversation starter in a lot of ways. It is.
I can imagine, people ask you about it all the time.
They do.
Can you take it
when you were starting? When you were starting, did you start with comedy? Was that like, we know you were with Uptight Brigade.
Upright Citizens Brigade,
Uptight, I'm sure some of them were.
They're not as uptight as you would think.
Yeah, I'm uptight.
No. Yeah, Upright Citizens Brigade.
Yeah.
I actually went to an acting conservatory. I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, so I'm like a classically trained actress, believe it or not.
She laughs
right.
But I mean, if you look at my resume, you'd be like, what is this girl doing? But yeah, I mean, it's so funny. I have a lot of friends who aren't in the business that are like, well, I mean, do you like want to do movies? Do you want to do like more serious stuff? And I'm like, hey man, I just want to work. And how it boils down in this town is like, you can have big ideas, but let me tell you, the universe has some other ideas for you. And so I have been very fortunate to be given the career I've been given. Is it what I envisioned when I was like studying Shakespeare and all of these like really meaty roles? No.
Right. Yeah.
Sure. Like this is a town that you got to ride the ride when it gives it, they gave me a ticket, I'm going to ride that ride. Right. And then when you get to be like Tom Hanks, then you can pick your roles and things like that. But you kind of have to like, when I walk into the room, what do they think of me and what do they see with this voice? And yeah, comedy just comes naturally. So That's
I
what
I had
I've been.
said to Mike too, looking at your body of work, and at least from the outside looking in, it looks like someone that's had fortunately a pretty consistent career,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I,
you've
well,
been working constantly.
whether it's film or television.
yeah, I thank you. Sometimes I need to be reminded that when I'm like, oh my God, when's the job coming? But yeah, I've been really lucky. I have a couple pals in town who have been working at it just as long as I have. And sometimes it feels unfair that I've been given, it's all timing, like it's so much luck, and it's so much like having thick skin and timing and being prepared.
Yeah, and I had wondered if you had ever done stand-up.
I have. I've done
Because
it a few
that's
times. It scares me so much, but
that's
I
brutal.
did it.
Yeah. I did it for a couple of years, and that's brutal. I like acting way more because it's you.
Mhm.
And if they don't, although, Dan was too young to get into clubs when I was doing stand-up. So I brought him along one time, and the club owner let him stand by the door so he could hear it. Nothing.
Crickets.
I got nothing. It was crickets. And I come walking out around the corner, and there's Dan. He's like, what happened? Was nobody in there? And it was like the funniest night we had ever doing it, because we laughed so hard. Now,
Oh,
that's the worst. That's your biggest fear. Yet when it happened, I was like, this isn't so bad.
yeah. I mean, it happens to everyone, right?
Yeah.
It does. I was a host of a couple comedy shows because I was a part of a theater company. And on some dark nights, I was like, can I start doing comedy nights? And so I did. And I did a stand up night, I did a sketch night, and I did an improv night. And I hosted all of them. And I also performed in most of them. So, it was very fun. But yeah, it can be brutal when you bomb, but everybody bombs. There's comfort in that.
Does. Everybody
Yeah.
does.
You almost need to bomb to know what's good and what's not good, and also just to be able to you just got to get it out of your system.
Yeah, and you can do 2 shows in a night on a Friday night. The first show, everyone's laughing hysterically. You do the same set, and it's like, what did I sneeze? What happened? Something's wrong.
No, it's usually not you, it's the audience.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to be really
them.
honest. It
I'm
is
very
them.
funny.
It is
It's
them.
them.
You're very funny.
Thank you, Deborah.
That's high
You're welcome.
praise. We were thinking too, talking about, you saying how fortunate you are to, with some others that in town. But Mike and I were wondering, because you do voiceover work too, and with COVID, which is something we've talked about quite a bit on this show, probably more than we'd like to have.
With
But
everybody.
how has that impacted your work, and has voiceover stuff continued to be something that you can dabble in as a result of it, or is that dried up too, or what's the story there?
I don't do as much voiceover work as you would think.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Everyone, as soon as they meet me, they're like, you must work all the time. And I'm like, oh man, it's brutal. It's like if you wanted to be a lawyer and they found out, I'm like, you must have so many cases all the time. And it's like, oh man, I don't. Yeah, no, I would love to do more voiceover. I don't do that much. It's a really, really tough little world to get into. Once you're in, but it has been brutal to break into. I've been acting a lot during COVID. I've been so lucky. I'm so grateful. Yeah, I'm the spokesperson for Rum Chata, so I've been doing those commercials. I got, during COVID, I am the voice of this Comedy Central character, so we got to do a second season of that. I got to do another episode of The Neighborhood during COVID, which is crazy.
That just aired, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I got I have a reoccurring role on that, and then I just did another role on Kenan Thompson's new show during COVID, which is like, so I've been really lucky.
Yeah, because so many shows are shut down.
They are.
So yeah, you've been real lucky.
So
Yeah.
will we see you back on The Neighborhood? Or I mean, because that's the one that just aired, right? With
Yeah, I've done 2 episodes. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, everyone is just hoping their shows are going to come back. You just don't know. So
You've got the kleptomania thing under control. So
yeah, we've got the kleptomania thing under control.
You were reformed.
I was reformed. You've watched both the episodes?
Yes.
Because there was a big, she turned around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know any of the writers personally to be like, what's happening with my character? I'm just really happy when the phone calls.
Now was it just coincidence because Beth Bears, who's in that show, obviously too, because I know you were on an episode of Two Broke Girls a while back too. So is that a relationship that you'd maintain? Or you knew her still, or?
Beth did not remember I did Two Broke.
Oh God.
She was so excited for me. I don't care. She doesn't care. She at the table read, we have a mutual friend, and she was like, "I'm so excited to meet you," and I was like, "Oh."
We worked together.
So excited to meet you too. And it wasn't until because for Multicam, you work together like a play all week long. So you actually really get to know one another. She came up to me the next day. She's like, "I'm so sorry. I guess we worked on Two Broke." And I was like, we did. And she was like, "I don't remember." And I was like, that's okay. You did a lot of episodes. And I played such a small character, but we became fast friends on the show, and she's the best. She's truly just one of the sweetest people. Max is one of the sweetest people in the entire world. Cedric, Tashina, they're all just like, you walk into that family and you're immediately a part of the family. They're so generous and gracious with their time and open hearts. And it's the stage that I did a full season of The Great Indoors with. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
It already felt like home. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you've had a couple of long stretches on some of those series. Now, the one you mentioned with Conversation, is that the Blark and Son?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is.
Where the pigtails.
I've never seen anything like that before. Those puppets, I can't unsee that.
So funny. People have very aggressive reactions to it. I have a lot of friends that are like, "Deborah, I am not watching that." And I was like, what? And I don't know. It just like makes me feel weird. And I was like, that's why I love it. I really, really love it. My buddy, Chris Mintz-Plasse, who I met on The Great Indoors, he voices Son. And he was, while we were shooting The Great Indoors, he was like, "Guys, I'm doing this like cool thing for Instagram." And I watched it and I was like, "Chris, I am obsessed. I am obsessed with this show." And then they picked it up to make into like their, YouTube, whatever. And he was like, "I would love for you to be in this." And I was like, "Yeah, I 100% yes, please." And they were like, "Nah, she's not big enough a name." So they cast someone else. And they were like, "Oh, I guess it was an influencer or something. I'm not sure." But they were like, "Oh, we need an actress." That was our mistake. And Chris was like, "Told you." And like they cast me. So it was very kismet, very happy to do it. I will work with Chris for as long as I live. We love working together.
With all the work you've done, do you still have to audition, or
Yeah.
Really? No,
I'm a household name.
No, well, I say that. If you run, when you look at your bio, it's just you go from one thing to another, and not, it's not like one episode. You do like, 3 seasons or whatever.
And damn it, that's all going to change after your appearance on this show.
This is going to open doors.
I hope so, guys.
I
really hope so.
Did you look at your calendar earlier today, and when you saw 7:30, did you go, "Oh, brother"? What the hell am I doing?
I did. I said, "Oh, brother."
What the hell am I doing on this?
No, I'm always. I love doing podcasts.
Oh, it was so sweet of you to agree.
Stop it! I was so touched that you guys reached out. I was like, they want to talk to me? Great.
What's been your favorite, of all these series and things that you've done, even the films, I guess, like what so far stands out? What's been your favorite piece of work?
I think it's so hard. I've the 3 seasons I did on Stand Against Evil were so special. That character was so much fun. Plus we got to shoot in Atlanta, and it was like summer camp every summer, just going. There's something so cool about going to a place and shooting, and really being able to like I could dive into it. I didn't have to worry about coming home and like this and that and, you know, life. You could really just be there with your castmates, which I was fortunate enough to get along with. I loved doing that show. I really miss Atlanta so much.
How was it working with John C Mcginley? That must have been, I mean, God, he's been in like every movie you can think of.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. He's great. You know, I think the friendships that I got out of that show with Janet Varney and Nate Mooney and Dayton Gold, like we still are all on group chats.
That's cool.
I feel like every project I do, I'm just collecting friends. That's really all I want to do, guys. Just want to have big birthday parties. That's all.
Friends that pay.
That's the real. That's why I came to Hollywood. I just want to have big birthday parties. Yeah. But yeah, I love it. But I, you know, most recently, I think being Brittany on The Neighborhood, I think they've written her in a way that I can really showcase a lot of different layers. I often play, you know, where roles are written, they don't get to have a lot of depth. So, yeah.
Well, I would hope to see you back on that because, you know, no offense to the rest of the cast, but it's another one where I feel like you're sort of stealing those scenes.
Don't say that.
I know, it's really funny. I know you're gonna hurt.
It's very collaborative, I will say. Like they're, I don't care. That's very nice of you. But you know, they're all so funny. They're just so wonderful to work with. So they make it very easy.
Are there any? What are your dream collaborations? You know, if you had your druthers.
Are you still looking for that like Meryl Streep role? Are you still wanting to do
Shakespearean
like
piece?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, guys, this is going to sound awful, but if I could be on Bridgerton, I would die a happy lady. Is it the most cheesy show on television? Yes.
Sure.
Is it beautiful? Yes. Is the sex amazing? Yes. I am obsessed with that show right now. I'm so obsessed with that show. It's so cheesy. It's definitely not highbrow, but give me a period piece. My best friend is Karan Soni, and he's doing this season of Miracle Workers, season 3, and it's on the Oregon Trail. And I was like, oh my God, what a dream. Because every season is like last season was sort of like medieval. And I was like, you're living my dream, Karan. Like every season you get to have these amazing new costumes. You have a completely different character that you can dive into, but it's your same group. Having like an anthology series where you can just like, okay, this season I'm going to be this and look at these outfits, and the budgets are crazy. I think that would be so much fun to do period pieces and really different stuff against type casting, you know?
Right.
Well, you have so many different looks, you know, like, it's very complimentary because, you know, you can play so many different types. I would
Thank
think.
you.
Yeah, no.
I think that comes from just, I'm a theater kid. So
yeah.
Give me a good wig, give me a good costume, and I like to transform.
You know, what's in the works coming up now as far as are there other series or
what do I have coming out? So season 2 of Blark and Son comes out next week, actually.
Wow.
Which is really exciting. This season's really, really good. Jane Lynch joins our cast this year, which is fun.
Oh, nice.
Keenan, I'll be on that, which I don't know when that airs. I'm terrible.
Is this stuff that's already done? You've already done it?
I have. I've already. It's in the can.
In the can, as they say.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other things I can speak of. You can see me as the Rum Chata Fairy on all of the Rum Chata splats. Yeah, those are the. There's other things, but yeah.
Yeah, some have to be kept secret.
Yeah,
we understand.
Under wraps. Most challenging role that you've played, whether it's film or TV, is there anything that's been you know, that has been, even though you were sort of talking about typecasting and some of those things, but something that you felt like was more of a stretch, and maybe you were able to tap into some of that theater background?
That's a great question. More challenging. Yeah, I don't know. I think there was an episode in Stan where I had to be possessed for like a whole episode, which was challenging. So I just had to like lower my voice. I feel like I shot my voice doing that. I'm trying to think of like anything that was like hard or really stumped me.
Was it the scene with I saw with Dana in the car where you guys are about to kiss?
Yes, also challenging. No, it's great. No, it was in season 1. I get possessed and like get in an argument with John C Mcginley. But oh man, I don't know. I don't know. This season on The Neighborhood, I had to do some like old, like, oh, okay, yeah, I gotta really like dig deep into some like of my old acting stuff, because this isn't just like, it's so easy for me to be like, and you know, the thing, but like to be emotional and to really be grounded and make people feel things and feel bad for my character that they've hated this whole time. You know, I think that was, I did a lot more work for that than I have in a while, which was nice to like dive back into like actually like really thinking about it. Right. And yeah, I don't know. I most recently did some stuff, but I can't talk about it. That was challenging for me. Yeah, that didn't really answer your question.
It seems
Sorry.
like drama is like what you want to do, yet you're so good at making people laugh. Comedy. Let me tell you,
I auditioned for Bones so many times and never got it. There was one time that I auditioned for Bones. The casting director, oh my God, it was this emotional scene. I did this whole thing and he like just started laughing in the middle of it. And I was like, heartbroken. Let me tell you, don't be an actor if you have thin skin, because this kind of shit happened all the time. But you know, and I just remember walking out and being like, I worked so hard. Yeah. And I felt, and I felt grounded, and then like the whole thing, but like some people, I don't know, man, like it's really hard for me to book drama, but it does happen. And I've done many a drama, a play, and I've gotten wonderful reviews, but yeah.
And I suppose
when casting thinks of you and hears this voice, they're like, oh, she's not right for that. And so they've already made their mind up before you even do the work sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's unfortunate, but I guess, like you said, that's the business.
It is the business, but it doesn't mean that, I mean, Olivia Colman is a phenomenal actress, and she can do comedy and she can do drama. I think it's just the opportunities when they arise and like how it pans out for you, you know? So.
And man, are you going to drama the shit out of whatever that role is that comes, right? When it does.
Oh yeah. I'm going to drama the shit out of it.
So before we let you go, what are, you know, who are some of your influences when it comes to that? You know, are there those people that you, or at least, you know, that you see in films?
Yeah. I mean, I love just like good actors, man. Like I feel like my list of like people I'm obsessed with is constantly changing. I think Olivia Colman is phenomenal. I think, oh God, I'm gonna mess up her name, but homegirl from Queen's Gambit. I think what a dream. She's so good. And just so like those people that are that charismatic, and I don't know them, but I'm like, oh my God, I love you. Who else do I really dig? I mean, growing up, I was obsessed with Whoopi Goldberg. Don't ask. I was just like a little kid. I was like, I'm gonna be like Whoopi Goldberg. She's so funny. Who else do I really dig? I don't know. I just love
That's a good-
an actor's actor, though. You know,
Whoopi's a
like
good
just
one to bring up because Mike and I talked about, we were thinking about those comedic personalities or comedians who have gone in to make, or do very dramatic roles. Whoopi's another good example of that I don't think we'd thought about at the time. And Robin Williams, and there's a long
And
list there,
this,
but-
like drama, we're shifting a lot with TV. Drama's getting much more. I mean, shows like Fargo and things like this that.
And I think there's a really cool crossover that's happening too, because it's comedy, right? Or is being shifted into this like dark realm, which is
Right.
so cool. So it even though it's a drama, it can still, there's a lightness to it that is needed, which really is going to help me get my foot in that door. I really want those meta roles. But even like Kristen Wiig, I feel like,
Right.
It's so interesting because I think comedy is harder than drama. Personally, I think a dramatic actor can't jump on the other side as easily.
Definitely.
Right.
And it's such a weird thing that comedians get kind of put in this corner of like, oh, they're not serious actors though. And I even have some friends who have like had some success that sort of poo-poo some of my stuff. And I'm like, you can't do what I do.
Right.
I'm like, how dare you? But yeah, it is interesting to look at people's careers, and like even like Tom Hanks or Ryan Reynolds, who both started off on like multicam shows, and like you just it is really interesting how a lot of people think that actors choose their path. It's just given to you. You just have to ride it.
I think of Bob Odenkirk, and I think I said to Danny once, he started doing Breaking Bad and then Better Call Saul. We were like, he was a comedian, but in reality, he was a dramatic actor. I mean, he's just killing it on Better Call Saul. And you can tell, I think he enjoys it more. But, no, now in the future, when we see you, if you're doing something funny, we'll say, she's not really happy.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to work. No, don't say that.
No. Kidding.
No, if I can have Betty White's career and just work until I'm 99.
We were just talking
please.
about Betty White. Yeah.
God.
Amazing longevity. It's kind of cool. I want to say that, we saw the Nelms Brothers movie Fat Man, and then it made us these huge fans of the Nelms Brothers. They were nice enough to come on and talk with us. And then, we started to discover this universe that is the Nelms universe, and got to talk to Johnny and now you. And, we learned that's a lot of how they work and keeping people around them that they trust and they've built relationships with and so forth. And so everybody, including yourself now, has been so gracious, and we just appreciate it. But also it's turning us on to all these other talents and people that maybe we otherwise might not have heard of, or seen their shows or whatever it is. So super excited that you agree to do it.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I think it's a credit to the Nelms Brothers of greatness attracts greatness, and I think that's the whole goal in this town, is to be able to just like work and play with your friends. And come on for the ride, that's what I do. I mean, I only want to work with my pals. Why not? Life's too short to work with jerks. So work with your friends that are talented to boot,
Yep.
Well, I just picked up a Lost on Purpose today, and because I wanted to see you in that. Mike had already seen it, but I haven't got my hands on it yet. So that was another one that I checked off the list. So it's good to see you as well.
A little cameo on that.
It was good. Yeah. So congrats again on everyone is doing great, even though I know it's sort of odd, I guess, because it's been a couple of years since that.
It is a little weird, but I'm so psyched for everybody. Like when I got the call that it was going on Hulu, first of all, I was just like, wait, what? That's amazing. That's so great. And they've worked so hard for it. And they're such good guys. And like, I'm so thrilled for them. And the response has been crazy. I mean, they're like, they have their own, there's a lot of Aprils out there for them in general. So I'm not surprised that it's doing so well, but their super fans are so loyal and they're so great. So I really, really, really hope Hulu gives them a second season.
Yeah, we hope to see you in that second.
Yeah, you leave a huge mark on that season 1. So
yeah, you really do.
It's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. It was so much fun to do. If they ask me out, of course I will. I'm interested how my character would come back. But
I know, exactly. We didn't want to touch on that too much, but that would be nice. I'm sure they could figure something out. So how can people find you if they want to connect or, follow you?
Oh, it's very easy. Deborah Baker Jr. on Instagram and Twitter. I don't have Facebook. But yeah, those 2 places. I bop on there every now and then. Usually just pictures of my dogs, but
Well, we're thankful that you did, and again for just giving us some time to chat. It's really appreciated, and we'll continue to follow you. You got 2 new fans now too. So.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so sweet.
It was so nice to meet you guys.
Yeah,
Same here. All right, you take care and stay safe.
You as well. All right.
All right. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Deborah.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.